Hello, Agnes.
Hi, Patrick. So you have some nice idea about traveling?
Called my friend. I texted my friend in Vietnam. His name is Phung. He actually runs a tour agency. Yeah, I get to know him a few years back when I went to Ho Chih Minh City. So yeah, the quality of a tour guide is very good. I actually used them twice. Last year December, I decided that hey, I'm going to visit Hanoi. So I checked with my friend Phung again. I said, hey, do you want to do trip? He said, oh, I can help you arrange. And I happened to arrange a call with Phung.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, hi. Hi. Hey, nice meeting you again, Phung. Yeah. Yes, yeah. So, so just now I was just talking to Agnes about my trips that were previously arranged by you in Ho Chi Minh. So we went to the Chu Tunnel, the Mekong Delta, right? Then I also had the opportunity to visit Vung Tau, something which was a surprise to me because it was a beach resort, but I didn't realize that there's such a big, statue of Jesus Christ. And I think it is just about the same size as the one in Brazil. Am I right? Yeah, thereabout. Yeah. So that was something that was totally out of my expectation. Then just last year December, very nice of you to help me coordinate another trip in Sapa. So that's where we did 3 days, 2 nights. So we went Sapa town. Then we even trekked in Sapa. So I was, and it was so beautiful. Then we stayed with the local minority in their own house. And we had a very good experience of village life, something which is we don't really get it in Singapore. Then also the Fansipan part where we took a cable car up. I think that part was also very interesting to us because we never expect that Vietnam can be so cold. Yeah, so when I post it in social media, a lot of my friends were saying, where were you? It looks like you're in a very cold country, in Europe. Are you in Europe? I said, no, this is in Vietnam. So I thought we'll take this opportunity to share with our audience a bit more about what you are doing. So maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit to all of us. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Sims. I'm Phung. I live in Ho Chi Minh City. And living by myself, I was a tour guide before, since 2004. And during for my job, to travel around Vietnam. And at that time, my job, mainly, I took the group, like small groups, small families, travel around Vietnam. I started to open my own company, Roadstour Company, in 2011. Yeah, 2011. So I opened my own company and made my own company to travel around Vietnam here. So mainly my clients, mainly they come from Europe and small group from Asia who speak mainly English and French. And Roadstour, during that time, we normally make the private tour for clients to travel around Vietnam, and normally our clients they refer for sightseeing trip and short discovery and also for leisure. Then we travel around Vietnam somewhere like mainly in the south, like the tunnel, like Mekong Delta, like Ho Chi Minh City, as you did before, and we also do in the middle of Vietnam and in the north of Vietnam as well. But actually, we do mainly in the south of Vietnam.
Okay, mainly in the south of Vietnam. I did some research when I was thinking of traveling in Ho Chi Minh. So I was on TripAdvisor. So his company came up, Phung's name came out, and the review was really good. So it was from there that I did the booking. So after the first the first trip, I thought, hey, it was very good, right? Very well organized. So that was when I asked for more recommendations. Then was like I said, being brought to Vung Tau. Yeah. So then what actually was a very memorable experience was that because back then I went with my aunties. So they are a little bit older. Then we wanted to go for a food tour. So actually, Phung, you also do food tour, right? Yeah, from Vespa, correct? Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is that because my aunties can't ride, so I researched to look for walking trips. Then he helped me do the booking with the other tour company, and he actually got us a very nice discount. And even during our tour, Phung is very nice. Exactly. Phung still followed up with us, make sure that we are well. So I think from then till now, I think we are still in touch. So I thought that June holidays, December holidays are the periods where a lot of us would like to bring our children out. September is also a good time, right? September, October.
September. Exactly. In Vietnam. During September to March, April, that's a good time for weather. However, during that time, that's the Western season. I mean, during that time, a lot of clients they come from Europe, they travel to Vietnam. That's why if you have different time, can be like May till August. If you have the free time during that time, that will be, for me, I think it's better because first the weather a little bit wet, but not really wet all the time. Mainly just a little bit rainy and sometimes really heavy, but then stop straight away. Not really long time, not really whole day. So then easier for you, because not many tourists, that's why easier for you to travel around. And also the quality of the service, for me, I think it's much better during the high season in tourism.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while normally September to March is a good season, so what you're sharing with us is that May to August is actually also a very good time because of the less tourist traffic. Then we get more better services as well as attention. Okay, that's very interesting.
Actually, in Vietnam we have many good company.
Okay.
But I think our attitude, that's the important thing. The sentiments they express to us, but before they express to us to leave a good comment on TripAdvisor. I think that's our way to handle the problem. And for
you, you have been very humble, it's like, I think I like what you are sharing just now is that Vietnam also has a lot of very good companies, and definitely you are one of them. It's like I said, it was a very good experience the last time, which is why I'm comfortable. Even in between, I think another two of my friends, they asked for referral. I actually referred them. I think one of them we actually personally even brought them. I say you're so lucky.
So far, we still focus to private tour. That means mainly for a small group and families.
That's how I get to Phung also, actually, because I wanted something private and nobody else to disturb. Like my last trip with Phung, we actually have one car to ourselves, so it was like very comfortable. So more for privacy.
If you travel with a big group, also nice. But I think they schedule everything very. They detail the timely. That means, let's say, 5 p.m. start from here, 6 p.m. there, and after that 7 p.m. eating, and then 7:30 leaving, something like that. Let's say if we travel there, and if you don't want to stay there, don't want to spend there longer time. For example, if you travel to Ho Chih Minh City, if you travel with big group, they will tell you have 1 hour there. It doesn't matter you interesting or not. You still spend there 1 hour because you have to wait for other people.
Yes.
And sometimes with a big group like us, you have some questions.
Yeah.
Or you want to ask the tour guide, or sometimes you want to share with tour guide something. But with a big group like us, you not really have much private time to share with them. Or the tour, you travel to see everything, and you also want to see something another people can't see.
Yes.
And so for me, that's in very locally sharing. So that's why with a private tour like that, easier and more comfortable for the tour guide and for the client. They can share everything together, and they even can take you to some corners, whereas on group tour you cannot see. So and then you back home with many things or even some special things in your mind to make you remember your trip. I think that's the big reason. For me, I think that's a big reason and a big factors for traveling. That's why we mainly focus to our tour guides quality. Because I think people very important in service job. That's why myself, because I start from as a tour guide before, so I think that position very important. During the trip, the hotel can be not good. The room can be not good, the food can be not good, but if you have the good people, everything's much better.
Yes, I fully agree.
Yes. But if you have not really good partner to travel with you, it doesn't matter how good of food, how good of the hotel, everything will collapse.
Yeah,
and that's why I think when we're talking about the service of the road tour, we should talking about the tour guide first. First, they friendly or not. Of course, maybe their English not really good. Maybe yes, maybe no. But of course, I have to check everything before to send them to travel with client. But mainly, they are good people, good behaviors, nice, friendly, to make the client they feel warm and they feel lovely for the tour first. And second reason, not only the tour guide. Our people, I have myself, I have my assistants. So during the trip, we often call to our client. Because sometimes in the morning you feel good, but during the trip something went wrong. You never know, right? That's why we normally call them 2 times per day. to make sure everything okay with them. And in case there's something wrong, we will know how to handle. Of course, I know the tour already finished, but we still have many ways to make client to feel better. Yeah. So I think that we say is after sale, right?
This one I can vouch, because back a few years ago in Ho Chi Minh, Phung did check on me. Even my last Sapa trip just last year, he still checked on me to make sure I'm well. I still remember that day. I was telling you very cold in the morning. Then he said, "Okay, I can expect."
And for the long day trips, we normally call them every 1 or 2 days. The first call at the beginning of the trip, and the second call on the way back again. So that's why normally we call them at least 2 times per single tour.
And on the experience of the tour guide, like Phung mentioned just now, it's true. The lady, the first tour guide I had, she was really very experienced. Actually, she speaks very well also English. So Phung, just now you mentioned you focus mainly in the south of Vietnam, right? In terms of the tours. So when you're talking about south, that will include which part of Vietnam? Maybe you can help our audience a little bit. That means southern part is you are talking about Ho Chi Minh, is that correct?
Actually, so we have 3 main regions in Vietnam. We have the north on top, right? And north on top, plan they can go there. They can fly from outside to Hanoi there, and they travel to some popular and famous place like Hanoi, of course, and Ha Long Bay, and Sapa, and Ninh Bình.
That will be the northern part.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the middle of Vietnam, we have Hue, we have Da Nang.
Some place I want to visit. Da Nang, yeah.
And we have Hoi An.
Hoi An.
Yes. And a little bit down to the south, not really Ho Chi Minh City. A little bit down to the south from Da Nang, we have Nha Trang. Right? We have Nha Trang. That's the beach.
Okay.
But mainly for foreigners, we have the north, we have middle Da Nang, and we have in the south here. In the south, that means Ho Chi Minh City and the regions called Mekong Delta.
Okay.
Ho Chi Minh City and around Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City and around Ho Chi Minh City, that means Vung Tau also is the beach, and some beach nearby the Ho Chi Minh City. We have Vung Tau, we have Mui Ne, where we have standards, right? And yes, and down to the bottom of the country, we have Mekong Delta.
Okay.
And actually, it's our company. We do the trip around Vietnam. We do the trip. Let's say I arrange for you in the north of Vietnam as well.
Yes.
Because mainly our client, they travel to Vietnam, and as I said, it's mainly our group, that's a small group. And as you know, we have a lot of travel company everywhere.
Sure.
So I actually is that we can organize the trip to the north of Vietnam or in the middle of Vietnam as well easily. However, if they want, I think they still have a chance to searching around on internet. They can take a tour with us in the south because we are based in the south, and they can take a tour with another company in the middle of Vietnam or in the north. That's a little bit different with a big group, because big group you also travel and the guy travel with you to handle everything from the north down to the south. But for the private tour, to save the cost, so the tourists they fly from Ho Chi Minh City to there. And even my company, if they still want to travel with us, we have our tour guide in the north there, in the middle of Vietnam or in the north there, they will handle. So we have different reasons, we have different guys for you. And because the client, they travel with us, they book with us online. And that's why beside our company, they also choose another company. Before they travel with us, they already have their own company, their own partner in the middle of Vietnam or in the north of Vietnam. And I think that's also the good way too. Of course, if I can handle the tour like that, I have the money. Our companies have benefit. However, I think the big factors and if you have your own travel company in different area, I think also different experience. So you have different overview, different things to spend. That means like you on the road, you can see different people, something like that. So for me, it's more interesting. So that's why. That's why if they ask me, Phung, if you can do the tour in the north of Vietnam, in the middle of Vietnam, yes, I can do easily. But if they want, they can do that by themselves. as well.
Sure. So Phung is very open-minded, and actually I think Phung is very good. He actually embraces traveling. It's really about experiences and seeing different things. So to Phung is that, okay, if you need my help, I can still coordinate everything. From northern, central, that means from south all the way to the northern part. But if not, then Phung is also very open. He really hope that we can have a very good trip in Vietnam. So ultimately, it's all about the experience that we can have inside. So Agnes, do you have any question for Phung?
And Phung, you mentioned your base is in the southern part of Vietnam, right?
Yes.
If I have your expertise to travel with us for the southern part, since we will be traveling in small group, what would your suggestion? Like, what would be the best timing? Like 5 days or a week or even 10 days?
Okay. If you travel with a small groups like us, let's say about 10 people, something like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. With the family?
Yeah, with the families. I think one night in Mekong Delta. One night.
One night in Mekong Delta. Okay.
Yeah, one night in Mekong Delta. Actually, we also have some group. They do 2 nights, but I think one night that's enough.
Okay.
Because one night then you can see and you can get all the overview. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can feel, because actually you don't have much time there. So I think one night in Mekong Delta, and one night somewhere like Vung Tau or like Mune, that's to the beach. Right?
Wow.
The beach. And 1 or 2 nights in Ho Chi Minh City. Why? Because 1 or 2 nights in Ho Chi Minh City, you can discover the corners on the street. You can see you can discover for the food and the culture of the people. I think one day
The food is very nice there.
I think one night in Ho Chi Minh City, that's not enough. Of course, they can say, people say, it's similar to Singapore, but I think,
Exactly.
I think that's not really, because they still have a lot of people from Singapore, they travel to Vietnam. Why? Because it's different.
Yes.
So I think if you don't have time, your time's limit. 5 days, 4 nights, from December to March, that peak season. We have many company, even our company, many times we were fully booked. And that's why during the tour, not really easy for the travel company to take care for the quality. And if you don't have good experience, then not easy for you to back home with a nice memorial.
Nice memory.
You have to, from Singapore to here, not really far away. That's why if you have the free time during the low season in tourism.
Yeah.
For example, in Ho Chi Minh City, we have very famous place talking about the history, Ho Chi Tunnel. If you travel during the peak season, over there one day can be about 3,000 tourists.
Oh, too crowded.
Oh, there's a lot of tourists. Okay, 3,000.
3,000 tourists a day, and 3,000 tourists a day. I'm talking about before COVID, right?
Yes.
And then not easy for you to see clearly things, because group by group like that. And then just only a few minutes, and then people the tour guide will lead you to different place, because otherwise you have to wait another group. And sometimes when you have at that moment you have the question to ask your tour guide, but then keep moving to another place, then you forget your question. Something like that. Because for me, I think the little detail, that's very important, because some little detail like that's the important things. When you back home, you remember the things that happened there. Actually, as our company, we during the peak season, we still have the way to fix the problem. A little thing like that to make us still feel, to make our clients still feel comfortable. And something like if you travel with a big group, they fix the tour itinerary. But for the small group, if you want to see less tourists, so on the way we can start earlier or where we start later. And our trip very flexible. So even if you don't have time to travel with us during the low season, during the high season, we still can have some little way to handle that problem. However, I still strongly suggest our client, if they have time to travel in low season, still better. And even for the cost of the trip, during the peak season, high season, you travel here, the hotel, the cost of the hotel and cost of flight, everything's I guess about 40% up.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we have some very good suggestions from Phong. That means other than in terms
from
of
the experts.
yeah, from the expert, right? Yeah, so less people. Then also in terms of rooms, you actually save at least about 40%, which you can actually use it to spend and even visit more places.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is very insightful listening from Phong. I think his vision towards traveling, how his value system towards taking care of clients, thinking from their point of view. Also in terms of I would say actually all the details, he actually pays attention to details, and I think the beauty of having a small group traveling will be like what he mentioned just now. It allows for a lot of flexibility, and also, like I said, more chance for interaction and really understanding the destination that we are going to. Yeah.
I think during our conversations, the audience, they will wonder, if you travel with a big group and then you travel with a small group, how about the cost? Yeah, they will worry about that. Yeah,
because actually that's a big concern.
Yeah, because they think that the cost for private tour that are more expensive. Exactly, private tour is more expensive. Exactly. However, if you travel with depend how small. But if you travel with a family like I think 4 people up, 4 people up, compared to the big group, I think the cost not big different. But
Okay.
I think the quality you can see the big difference with the quality between the group and the private. Let's say if you travel with the group tour, I'm talking about the good quality group tour, cost you around let's say around $50,
Okay.
$40 to $50 a day, in general, for everything, right? In general, for
We're talking
example.
about in US dollars. Okay, US
And
$50.
yes, if you travel with a small group or do private tour, normally cost you about 20% to 30% up.
Okay, so maybe another $10 more.
If you want to discover more, discover the locally culture, local people, everything like that, private tour will be better for you. And one again, as you say, even morning wake up, right? They still not interrupt you like that. Because the people, something that's a small problem for you, but a big problem for other people. And sometimes
Yes, exactly.
big problem for people, but small problem for people, but big problem for you, right? So so it actually that depend on your choosing, right? Depend on your opinion. Yeah. So in fact, I'm not really voting to big group or private group. Private tour, but it depend on your plan and your choosing, and depend on your pocket.
So if it's a 4-person and above, actually considering a small group, they give you a bit more time on your side, and a lot more flexibility in that sense. And now we are in April already, so some of us may already be planning for trips for June holiday as well as the rest of the year. So this will probably be a destination or somewhere that you can consider as well. Like I say, it's just a 2 hours flight. You think about it. Yeah, even weekend off.
Right. Or you can take like around 6 days, like from suggested. So it's really depending on your schedule. So it's very flexible.
Myself still looking around, still searching around. Besides the normal tour before, myself still looking around to discover something different. And if I have an opportunity to get clients to Vietnam with us, we may take them to see something different as normal before.
Okay.
And
that's good. Another thing good to know.
Yeah. And also our knowledge limit. That's why if you know or you hear something about Vietnam, but what we not mentioned before, please tell us. Then we will think about that, we will discover about that, and then one day we will take you to see. Or whenever you travel to Vietnam here, if you have any further question, don't hesitate to ask me, and I will definitely to share with you as a friend. And once again, thank you for listening for everything.
Hey, yes, thanks a lot, Phong. Thanks a lot. So in our YouTube, under the comment section, like what Phong has shared with us just now, if you have any interesting thing that you came across and you feel that, hey, that would be a trip that or something you would like to explore, put it down for us so that Phong can also look out for them, and he's also continually, his agency is continually looking for new destinations, new places to explore, and we definitely look forward to a lot more exciting times ahead, right, together with Roadstour, right? So thanks a lot, Phong. Thanks for the afternoon. Right? So we look forward to seeing you soon. Yeah,
look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Bye.